Your chieftain, the Reverend C. Omar Evans. Let's give God praise for him. Amen. That's my brother. Well, I'm sure Lady Felicia knows some of the little bantering that we do in the back. Y'all know I'm a football lover, so you already know.
Cowboys.
It's the Cowboys, yes. And so, you know, amen. Some people. But he has become a brother beloved very, very quickly, and I so appreciate God for placing him in my life. And to Lady Felicia, I thank God for you. I'm so glad you're a younger version of just the undiagnosed ADHD that I also deal with. Amen. And ever since I met you, I'm like, she be moving and just doing stuff in her mind, going warp speed, and I'm like, that's just like me, but except I have an AARP card. Amen. Keep on going, and I'm so grateful that the Lord did that again. Amen. Amen. But I thank God for you just thinking about me, extending this opportunity for me to come and serve to the Community Baptist Church. When they did not have a pastor, they allowed me to come and it's so good to be back with you again. But Lady Felicia, you guys were just coming in on last year when God had put in my heart to be able to reach out to women that were in shelters during Christmas time. And when I tell y'all, who was helping me? It was somebody else's sister that lives across the street from the church.
Carol.
See, don't nobody want to take credit for the sister that maybe don't go always.
It's her.
Amen. Praise God, she was helping me. That's right. And so, I mean, she helped out. Because it was, y'all gave some big boxes of some beautiful things. Somebody had given some fruit roll-ups. I asked for candy, and somebody, I think it may have been Lady Felicia, wouldn't give candy or something. Natural fruit roll-ups. I know that's right. You're going to steal by the baby some candy to ruin their teeth during Christmas. But y'all did that. Y'all bought lotion, and it wasn't no cheap lotion either. Y'all ain't going to say nothing over there. Them chicks got Bath and Body Works. And
All right.
I'm telling y'all, when they got that stuff, I couldn't take pictures. That's the only thing because of the locations that we go to. I had to go by myself with the supervisor there because, you know, they don't want nobody to get in trouble. And those women, we partnered with another group that gave toys to the kids, and the mothers weren't expecting anything. And when I tell you, them chicks cried. And somebody remembered them. And they were in the shelter. They had something nice for themselves. So I want to tell you guys, thank you.
Amen. Amen.
Glory to God. This year, so if y'all got some stuff, I'll let you know. I'll see if I can get some additional approval to go in, but you might have to get a background check and, you know, some other stuff like that. Because
seriously,
are in danger. I didn't go to just a homeless shelter. These were women who had been in shelter because of domestic violence. Right, and so those were the ones who we reached out to, and so they're very, very careful about who comes. But I would love for somebody else to be able to go, because I mean, I was crying like I was crazy, but because of the kindness, I was able to represent that came from different churches and women, more specifically to other women. I want to thank God for the other facilitators who will be up and utilizing their gifts. It ain't nothing like being a part of a girl team. Amen. Amen. So God has empowered women and is using us in a powerfully profound way in this season. And I'm so glad to be on God's team. I don't have no color, so I wear everything. Amen. I'm not pink or red. Amen. But I can wear both of those well.
Oh, I love her.
Amen. The time that I have been allotted, I am supposed to be speaking about forgiveness. So will you help me, please? Yes.
Well, come through.
That's what I'm saying. Lord have mercy. I said, who the devil gave me this?
Who the devil?
Because I couldn't have done the class on fitness, and I shouldn't do the class on forgiveness. Y'all ain't gonna say nothing over here. Because there is a glossary understanding of forgiveness that...
Go ahead and teach. Go ahead and teach.
We try to act like we can handle people with a long handle spoon, not talk to them no more, walk off and be like, I forgave them. That's not true forgiveness. I just don't deal with them anymore. I need somebody to help me.
Come on.
One of the things that I figured out is that the enemy is attempting to use sisters against other sisters in order to ensure we're not as empowered as we need to be, in order to be a formidable foe against the real enemy that's around. Because you're not my enemy. I don't care how cute you are. I don't care how thin you are.
Right.
I don't care how long
Right.
your hair is.
Right.
I don't care how good your husband is to you. I don't care how big your diamond is. I don't care how many Mercedes you got. And I don't care how many Michael Kors bags. I don't care how many Tory Burch bags you got. I don't care how many red bottoms you got. I don't care how snatched your waist is. You're not my enemy. You're not. And our biggest issue is that we live in a culture that has us competing from the time.
Why don't you go ahead and teach? My God.
Competing on who's the most beautiful, who's the most smart, or is the smartest? It has us competing. And even in ministry, the devil has creeped in. And I preach all over the world. All over the world, because God just been kind. And I still split verbs. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing. I still am who God created me to be. And I ain't gotta compete with nobody to be me. Y'all gonna say nothing. Because I'm telling you, you might do what I do, but you can't do it like I do it. You can't do it like I do. You might be able to practice, baby, but you can't practice like I do. You might be able to sing, but you can't sing like I sing. You might be able to usher, but you can't usher like I usher. And God is calling for us to be able to stand up and be who He's created us to be without competition. And can you tell your sister, I am not your competition. Y'all don't believe you. Go and tell somebody, I am not your competition. I am not your competition.
I know that's right.
Not your competition. God put us on the same team
That's right.
to be in collaboration with one another.
That's right.
Y'all don't want to say nothing. He put us on the same team because we need one another to survive. I ain't preaching to the night. But the enemy would have us to operate in unforgiveness and to create schisms. Y'all, can I tell y'all something? One of my girlfriends got sick one time. She needed me to go preach for her. And it was at the last minute. And y'all know we don't like last minute changes. So she called and was like, I'm too sick to come, but I'm going to send my girlfriend. And they were like, you sending somebody? So she called me, she said, Rita, can you come in? Just preach anything. They doing something on leadership, no matter what it is, it's going to be fine. Just do it, because I'm too sick to go. But they need somebody to close out their conference. And I'm like, chick, I'll be over there in about an hour. She said, that'll be fine. I'm going to call the pastor, let him know that you coming, and I hope everything go well. And I said, well, if he don't let me preach, I'll just sit down and listen to whatever else is going on. You know, because I know how to be gracious too.
Right. That's right. That's right.
Y'all playing games.
That's right. Come on.
So when I got there, I didn't look like the chick that sent me.
Come on now. You better go ahead.
She looked a whole lot like you. And I look a whole lot like me. So I came in and they were like, the registration is $65.
You better go ahead.
That's right. So I wrote out my check and gave me a $65 check. And so I said, well, where's the back? He inside, just take a seat.
You better go ahead.
Put me where I'm supposed to be. So the pastor got up and he was like, well, Lord, I'm about to tell the woman name. And y'all sister well, we're going to take a 5-minute break and then we're going to come on up. I said, okay. And so the people that were at the conference were just looking like, what she got?
Tell your truth.
We know what we was going to be paying for, but what she got?
Tell the truth.
We don't always look as anointed as we need to look. See, you can go in some circles and folks be like, she ain't got nothing on her because I can't see nothing on. I can recognize the anointing a mile away. And we'll start judging other folks because we won't let God do something new around us.
Oh my God.
So they were checking me out. And I was checking them out while they were checking me out. Like I'm looking at you, looking at me. Looking at you.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Almost instantaneously was because they couldn't get what they thought they wanted. They judged it and were mad. And so then I got up and did, my little Easter speech. And then all of a sudden it was like, we're going to have to hand you back. I was like, I don't know if I want to come back. No, because sometimes we play so many games, we can't receive what God about to do for us because the enemy will have us judge what God is about to do. Come on. And many of us get to the place of unforgiveness because of judgment. Okay, y'all don't want to tell the truth. The truth of the matter is, I've been black longer than I've been saved.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
And there's some people, I look at them and I be like, I ain't gonna never like her. I know this is the same crowd, but y'all talk about, learn about Jesus on Saturday.
Tell the truth.
But there's some people I walk past and be like, baby, if you don't never come around me again.
Come on, come on.
I'm asking for the Saturday you and not the Sunday you. You ain't gonna play holy today. Today's Saturday. It's some folks that because of my flesh, I make a judgment.
Tell the truth.
Y'all don't want to help me. Y'all don't help me. Some of us, even me,
Right.
have been in the place where somebody else we care for tell us that somebody else done something to them. And because I can't fight you, I'm going to stop talking to you. Because y'all know church etiquette say you can't fight in the church. Meet me outside. I've been Baptist all my life and I know church etiquette. We're not supposed to cuss in church, so we cuss in our mind.
Tell the truth.
And we harbor and fester stuff inside of us. That ain't y'all legal. Okay. Come down y'all street. Some of us have been in church trying to do the right thing for God. And somebody said something about our little offering to God.
That's right. All right.
See, it don't happen at y'all church, obviously.
Tell the truth.
But I ain't got nothing but what I got. And I've had people trying to talk about what I'm trying to give to God. Come on. Because it ain't good enough for them. But it's all I got. I hate how she sing. They should have gave that song to Sister such and such. I don't know why they always got her on the door. She got the nastiest attitude. I know y'all don't do that here. Where my church at? Where my church at? They not here. That's why I can talk about it. Oh, and we get to a place where we won't even serve God.
Right.
Because we won't forgive somebody else. Who crazy like that? That somebody else will keep you from giving God your best? But because of unforgiveness, some of us won't even serve the way we're supposed to serve. Y'all, I'm trying to get to my little lesson.
Come on.
I hear this little statement all the time that says there's no hurt like a church hurt, and no evil like religious evil. And some of us act like the hurts that we've experienced in church are so horrifying that we can't get over them.
You better talk right.
And the truth is, it's just by choice.
Come on.
I wish I had somebody up in here. I just choose to wallow in my pain. See, the problem becomes I was identified with my sin and my issues before.
Right.
Everybody grown up in here?
You good.
Y'all ain't ready for me though. See, we used to be in the chick on the side, and we used to go talking to us about that. We used to be in and out of everybody's bed, and we used to folk talking about us like that. We used to be in the one that lie and steal and cheat. And so then when God cleaned that up inside of us, we ain't got nothing to identify with that reminds us of the pain that we used to have. So then now we'll find the art that we have, and they say, I'm so hurt by what she said to me. Folk been talking about me since I was in the 3rd grade, and I believe a little bit earlier. How you get full grown and somebody talking about you injured you that bad? I wish I had somebody up in here. It's because of choice. Because we know that God can free us from sin. But because we're so accustomed to being in bondage, we select a new bondage, and our new bondage for the church house is unforgiveness. We want it. Because if I come to church and everything is irregular, and ain't nobody gonna say, are you all right, Rita?
Right.
You don't look right today. Can I give you a hug? Because when something was wrong with me, I got all of the attention that I needed. Wow. And then some of us have gone through this process, and God has us by ourselves because He wants our attention. Now we're trying to come up with a new crew. And so the crew we want to come up with is those who don't like you. They don't do that at y'all church, but see, now we got a common enemy. So that's why me and you down like 4 flat tire now. Because you don't like her, and I don't like her neither. Oh my God. Glory. And I'm too saved to talk about it. Right. So I'll just openly mistreat you. Come on. Y'all ain't never seen nobody. It's 6 inches of space between y'all, and they can't see y'all. You know what? I done had people. I read a story. I didn't see you today. This is 215 pounds, baby. You didn't mix it all the way down to the street. If you couldn't have seen me, you felt all of this, honey. Or somebody in the church coming down the one aisle in the church. And as soon as they see you, all of a sudden they got to go back to the bathroom. Because we choose to operate in unforgiveness. And then there's some of us who don't have no problem with either one of y'all. But listen to both of y'all. I'm in the middle. I ain't got no problem with her. problem with you. And y'all forgive me, my mother's in hospice, so I be having to check my phone. So, no, I ain't joking. My mom is sick for real. So she's sick for real. So I be checking my phone for that. So I'm gonna do what I gotta do, but I'm just trying to make sure there ain't nobody calling me about my mom. Amen. So when y'all see me do this, I'm trying to see if this is it. Okay. But anyway, we will be in neutral. And what we'll know is you wrong and she wrong. All right. But we'll perpetuate it. Either you gonna be hot. That's right. You gonna be right. Or you gonna be wrong. And the problem with Christians is that God forgave us for reconciliation.
That's right. All right.
And we act like we can forgive without reconciliation.
All right.
Y'all, I'm telling y'all, I shouldn't have done the exercise class or this class. Because God was dealing with me so. Because he said, Rita, you just as wrong as everything. Because you think you can decide who I put in your life and what they're supposed to mean to you. Jesus. And we'll say somebody did something to us and that don't mean nothing to me. She don't mean nothing to me. I don't even think about her. Oh, now the church is quiet.
You're talking right.
And God has called us to reconciliation. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, this is one of the toughest things for me to have to deal with, because there are times when you didn't even do nothing wrong.
You're talking right.
I have twin godsons, Philip and Pierre. And their mother died when they were 18 months old, and I'm the only mother figure they've ever known. And by the time they got in maybe the 4th grade, they were going to school. They were at a Catholic school, and I was working there as an after-school person and teaching 8th grade religion at their Catholic school. And Pierre started acting funny. And you know, I'm from the South. I ain't scared of kids. I know that's right. I still beat kids right where they are. I mean, I know y'all scary up here. I ain't that kind of scary. You get out of line, baby, and me too. You gonna act like a monkey with a wig on at Macy's, and me too. Baby, I mean, spare your reputation. Let's get on. I see y'all scared of y'all kids and y'all crazy. I ain't that kind of scared. I'll go to jail for my baby.
Eat that 7.
Be careful with yourself. I've been crazy all my life. Look at me closely. Pierre acting a little funny with me. God trying to deal with me. So I'm sitting up here like I don't know what's wrong with this little boy. He better get himself together. So I'm trying to talk to Philip, and I said, Philip, what's going on with your with your brother? And he's like, you know, I don't know, God, mommy, I don't know. He hasn't said anything to me. You know, they identical twins, you know, so I'm sitting up here like they always talk to each other, and I'm thinking that Philip could give me a little insight on it. So I said, you know what, let me go talk to this little boy, because he acting a little funny, and I don't want to have to leave him on the side of the street and his dad be mad at me, you know what I mean? But I mean, he can't keep getting in my car going home, you know what I mean? You ain't talking to me. I mean, you know, you don't get dinner, baby, you can't talk to me, baby, I don't feed people, don't talk to me, you understand what I'm saying? But God trying to work them down, judging me already. You're right. You know she's right. But I'm like, you know, I felt like the Spirit of God told me to go talk to Philip. So I go talk to Philip, and I said, Philip, okay, tell me. He said, I don't know. So I said, let me go talk to Pierre, because, you know, we're going to squash this. I said, baby, I want you to know that I love you more than anything. I want you to know there ain't nothing I wouldn't do for you. And he looked at me like I had, you know, 2 noses and 12 heads, and I was like, okay, Rita, you better come out of this, honey. You get out the room, because if I can't change my behavior, I have to change my environment. Y'all ain't gonna say that. So I was like, let me get up out of here, because I'm gonna have to hurt this real little boy. Because you don't get no street credit for hurting children. So I said, let me get up out of here. So I get out of there, and so I go home. I tell y'all, the Lord dealing with me.
Right.
So I go home and I said, you know what, God, because this is how I talk to the Lord. If you don't get that little boy straight, because you know there ain't nothing wrong with me. If you don't get that little boy straight, I'm going to have to hurt him. And the Lord told me to write Pierre a card and let him know how much I loved him. And if I had done something, to ask for his forgiveness. Give that to him. Give him some time. And then to ask for his forgiveness. And I was just like, now, I don't mind expressing love, because this is how crazy I am. I don't mind saying I love you. I just don't want to act like I love you. So I'm writing the card out here. You're an amazing son. If God would have ever given me a child, he would have looked just like you. He would have been as smart as you and as fast as you are as a runner and all of that. And then I get to the bottom and I'm like, love. And the Lord said, ask for his forgiveness. So I have to write the card over again. And I'm like, Pierre, if I had a son. And then I had to put on there that if I've done anything, please forgive me. And let me tell you how it ended up. Pierre and I finally talked. It was maybe about 2 weeks later. And he came up to me and he said, God, mommy. He said, I hate that you're my God, mommy, and that you're not my mommy. Come on. So if I would have operated the way Rita operates, he had already had a beating. He had to walk home from school. And I wouldn't have never fed it. Because I was looking at it through my own eyes. And I did not realize that he was going through something that really had nothing to do with me, but I was just the object of it. Are y'all hearing me? He wanted his mama. Okay, y'all think I'm still talking about Pierre. See, sometimes as women, we'll be angry at other sisters, and sometimes it ain't got nothing to do with you. God just want to use you for them to not hear that you love them, for them to experience that you love them.
Jesus. Come on. Wow.
The pain of unforgiveness is something that will hold us back. We're on that second page that has a little hook on there. Because I'm going to try to get through my little thing the way I'm supposed to. Y'all all right? Amen. Okay, the workshop is going to go over the pain of unforgiveness, the principle of forgiveness, the process of forgiveness, the price of forgiveness, and the power of forgiveness. Amen? Okay, so the pain of unforgiveness. Why do we choose to hold on to our hurts? Answer me. Talk back to me if you can.
Oh, Lord.
We're comfortable with it. Pride.
Yeah.
Familiar. Stubborn. Somebody said something back there. Well, I'm just used to it. It gives me some purpose. I mean, I got this anger, at least I could, direct it towards somebody.
You don't want to be exposed.
I don't want to be exposed.
Justified.
I feel justified.
My God.
I'm a victim in this thing. Feel sorry for me. I need this. I need this. There's an illustration on here about a hook, and it just basically says that those pains and that unforgiveness, it just starts hooking itself to us. And then it becomes a part of our personality and our character. One of the things that I found out was that other things can happen to you, and they will begin to alter your character. That's true. Yeah, let me give y'all a good example. Those of us that have ever dated, anybody ever dated anybody before? Can y'all think back? But some of y'all like now. I mean, like, dated somebody. Even unholy, but I mean, dated somebody. Y'all trying to act like y'all did everything the Bible said. I mean, I dated.
Right. You should date.
I test drove that thing.
Come on, preacher.
They're judging me already. I can handle it.
Come on, preacher.
But that person that I was test driving with.
All right.
That we didn't actually end up in a purchase. Things occurred.
Right.
And I entered in a trust drive, baby. And I said, the next time I'm driving, I ain't gonna do this. The next time I test drive, I ain't gonna do that. Y'all so funny, man. And I don't know if you saved, honey. The Bible said don't fornicate. It say a whole lot of stuff we do. A whole lot of stuff we do. We're trying to stop doing it. Some of us. Anyway. You go in that white and see if I'm a man, because I'm having a hot flash. Baby, it's my season to get warm. Amen. Just get on up in there. But one of the things that test driving helped me learn about my aunt, she wasn't test driving, she was married. And my Uncle Jackson, he had said, he had been married previously. And he said his wife had told him that his previous wife had told him that he wasn't never at home and he didn't pay a whole lot of attention. And he promised himself that if he ever get married, girl, God gonna bless you real good. Thank you.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. Honey. Just because of this, baby, you're gonna get a great reward. Amen. If smoke coming from me, I'm okay. I'm okay.
I know that's right.
I'm okay. But he had shared with us that he wasn't at home a lot. He wasn't paying a lot of attention to his first wife. And he said he promised himself that if the Lord blessed him to ever get married again, he was going to be present and he was going to be very attentive. Well, unfortunately, he married my aunt, who owned 4 businesses and was a road runner. I mean, she was all over the place. And so she was like, Jackson, get on my nerve. He always sit up here trying to be all up in my face all the time. And I be sitting up there like, boy, when you go somewhere, you not getting ready to go to every meeting with me because he's trying to be together. Because he had altered his behavior from a previous experience to try to carry it into a new experience.
That's right.
Instead of him being who he was, you might go say that up in here. He was trying to be who he thought somebody else needed him to be. And so many of us will hook some of those things that hurt us before. I wish I had somebody. And we'll start changing and altering our personality because we want the next time we get into something. Y'all ain't gonna say nothing. I'm gonna tell you what I get sick of hearing.
Come on.
I don't like being around women.
All right.
That's it.
I hear women say that all the time.
You a woman?
I can't stand being around women. I know that's right, girl. It's your crazy self.
Right.
You always around a woman. You a girl. But she's altering her personality because another female said something to her.
That's right. That's right.
And so it's because of those things that are on our hook that we need God to clear off of our hook. We need to get that cleared off. We need God to clear some things away from us. But there are some things that keep us from allowing those things to go away. And it's sometimes just the fact that I do not want to forgive you. Y'all, there are some people we just be like, I don't want to ever give you another chance. I don't ever want to be in a right relationship with you again. Are y'all willing to tell the truth about it? It's some people, listen, when God be, taking people away from here, I I've been like, I've had friends that have passed away. I've had all kinds of family members that have died. And every time it happens, I'm like, God, I told you. I already got a list of people you could easily take up out of here. That was my first boyfriend. And if God gonna kill somebody, you ain't gotta be so random, God. I got a list of people and the stuff they done. Tell the truth. And all of us can be like that because we like it.
Yes.
We like harboring unforgiveness. But I'm telling you guys, we're going to the principle of unforgiveness. When we get to the principle of unforgiveness, the problem with the principle of unforgiveness is that you cannot receive forgiveness and not release it. How can you be a recipient of forgiveness? Do y'all remember what you did?
Right.
Before the Lord. I know some of y'all been saved so long you can't remember. But let me give you a minute to go through the trash can of your life.
Telling the truth.
And if the Lord could forgive you, y'all, how is it that we won't forgive one another? And then the principle of unforgiveness. Another part of this principle that is so messed up is that we know the Word of God says that if we do not forgive,
Jesus,
talk back to me if you can, that we won't be forgiven. And that our Father in heaven will not hear our prayers.
My God.
Baby, not because of y'all talking about me. It ain't even getting ready to be like that. I'm not getting ready to suffer the consequences of needing God to do something in my life and being mad at you. Get out of here. I'm going to miss a blessing because of you. Baby, you better wake yourself up. I'm telling you, you better know what's on the line. We got family members we won't forgive. I remember I was teaching forgiveness at a church back in Phoenix, Arizona. And this one lady was like, Pastor Rita, I want to talk to you. And I said, sure. She said, no, I want it in a counseling session. And I'm like, okay. She was an older lady. And so I'm like, I can't imagine what it is. Maybe she's sick or something like that. And, want to make sure everything right with her family or whatever. And so she was just like, we were doing Returning to Holiness. What we were doing. It's a great book. It's very inexpensive and may not actually be out right now, but it's called Returning to Holiness. And real holiness requires forgiveness.
That's right.
So we were on the area of forgiveness. It took us about like 6 months to get through that. But anyway, she comes into my office and she's talking to me about something that her brother had done to her. He had stolen an immense amount of money from her. And he had just done a lot of things that really hurt them and the family in the long run. And I told her, I said, you know what, y'all, you're going to have to get it in your heart first to let it go. You're going to have to ask God to help you to forgive him. And then you're going to have to have that conversation with him. That I let you go, I forgive what has occurred. And sometimes we do that in a piety, but we're going to get to that in a minute. Because we act like, we're so super spiritual that because of your loneliness, honey, I'm having to forgive you. So, and that ain't true forgiveness. That just ain't what it is. And so I said, you're going to have to talk to him. You're going to have to let him know that you just release it and you want to be reconciled. That's your blood brother. 2 times. By earthly blood and by spiritual blood. 2 times that's your brother. So we keep talking and she finally goes, I just don't think I can forgive him. And I'm just like, girl, I did my best counseling. What is you talking about? And she told me he dead. This man had been dead. See, you gotta ask questions early in counseling session. He had been dead for 21 years. Y'all, I'm telling that may sound crazy, but y'all, we will hold on to some stuff, baby. And she's like, I can't be reconciled to him. And I'm like, well, y'all, not on this side. But you definitely can ask God to relieve that from you. But 21 years after his death, it was just like that man had did it to her like the last few minutes. And we can hang on to it. And the principle of unforgiveness is another one, is that you don't always have time to make it right with somebody else.
That's right.
I wish I had somebody up in here.
That's right.
Because true reconciliation requires time.
That's right. Yes.
I wish I had somebody.
Come on.
True reconciliation, it requires time. True forgiveness requires time. The time that it requires is for you to be honest about what hurt you.
Right.
Because you know what I found out is, as good Christian women, we lie about so many things.
Yes.
Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored too. Blessed to be stressed.
Come on.
Get over yourself. There are real things happening in our lives all the time. Be about to take us. Y'all, come on. If it had not been for the power of God, some of us would be crazy up in here. Some of us would be dead if it had not been for the power of God. And you try to act like you live on Disneyland, and most of y'all know y'all live on Elm Street, and your neighbors are Chucky, and the bride of Chucky. And yo, we gotta start telling the truth about some stuff.
Hallelujah.
The Bible says that the truth, it'll make you free. Come back, baby. It'll make you free. It'll make you free. Has holding on to unforgiveness caused or created pain for you?
Yes.
Yeah, it has. And this is our start. You got to start telling the truth.
That's right.
It's created pain for me, yes or no? Some people could be like, it don't bother me. I don't care nothing about them no way. I didn't really like her no way. It was something in my spirit that hit me. But it does create a pain. Because I can't openly hug you. I can't openly know that if I come to you and just say, pray for me, Lady Felicia. I don't even know what to say. I just need your prayers. And then to know that your sister gonna hook you up. I'm trying to tell y'all, because it'll create a pain where you'll sit in church and feel like you all by yourself. I hear it all the time. I feel like, I come to church and I don't fit in with nobody.
That's right.
Check yourself. Is unforgiveness giving you that? We are living in a time where we recycle members, and so we go from being mad at one church to being glad at another church, till we got mad at that church to going to another church to get glad at that church, until we get mad at that. Y'all, I gotta leave this church. I'll be back here too. How about that? And we recycle stuff because we think we can go to another place and experience something different. And if you go, you're going to experience the same thing if you don't get delivered. You got to get delivered by the power of God. Okay, let's get to forgiveness. Y'all could do that other exercise, explain why you had your answer up there. Forgiveness is a pain reliever.
Yes,
That's what I believe. It relieves the pain. There are two types of forgiveness. For those of you who are writing notes in here, there are two types of forgiveness. The first forgiveness is a divine forgiveness. A divine forgiveness. The second forgiveness is a disciple's forgiveness. The first forgiveness is a divine forgiveness. The second forgiveness is a disciples forgiveness. Somebody that follows Christ just chooses to do what God has called them to do. They just are choosing to do that. Let me give you a few words from the Hebrew that will help give us a definition of what we're talking about biblically. Kala, C-A-L-A-H. Kala is a word which means in the Hebrew, C-A-L-A-H. Kala. Kala means to pardon. Kala means to pardon. Kapar, K-A-P-A-R. Kapar, K-A-P-A-R. That is the Hebrew word which means to cover. That word means to cover. The third Hebrew word for forgiveness is nasa. Nasa. N-A, S as in Sam, A. Nasa. Nasa. That means to bear, to support, to aid, and to assist. Let's go back. Kala, C-A-L-A-H, that means to pardon. Kapar, K-A-P-A-R, means to cover. Nasa, N-A-S as in Sam, A, means to bear, to support, to aid, or to assist. In the Greek, this is a little different, is aphinemi, A-P-H-I-E-M-I. I'm going to spell it again. A-P-H-I-E-M-I. That is a noun, and it is also a noun that means, it's a difficult noun, a compound kind of noun, because it is connected to a verb. So it literally means that I am a forgiver who A-P-H-I-E-M-I. That is a noun and a verb. It literally means that I am the person who is forgiving, and I am letting something go. I had something, I'm letting it go. I am the sender of something, and I'm sending it away. Are y'all with me? Then the next word that we have is charizomai. Charizomai. Very complex word. Charizomai. C-H-A-R-I-Z-O-M-A-I. I'm going to spell it again. C-H-A-R-I-Z-O-M-A-I. This word is so beautiful because this is a word where we get our root word in English, characteristics. Character. Okay, this is a word that means that you are gracious.
Right.
That it means that you are merciful.
Yes.
It means that you are a restorer. One of the things that my mentor used to tell me all the time is that, Rita, you might not always like what goes on, but always be gracious. There is something about being a lady. I wish we didn't have so many images of Real Housewives of Atlanta that act like if you ain't going off the rails all the time, that somehow you're not a lady. There needs to be a restoration of grace in the church. I wish I had somebody up in here. We gotta start operating in some grace. Y'all, what does grace mean? Because y'all sound like y'all from good Christian churches. What does grace mean?
Unmerited.
Unmerited favor. That I'm gonna do something that you ain't even earned. Yeah. So I'm gonna keep the slap in my hand. I'm gonna keep the cuss in my mouth. Is this too early for y'all? If I ever get to come back again, I need to be afternoon. Okay. It means I'm being great. It means I'm being merciful. What does mercy mean? Come on, somebody help me. What does mercy mean?
Not getting what you deserve.
Not getting what you deserve. Yeah. They deserved it.
Lord have mercy.
I wish I had some time to say right there.
Come on, come on.
They deserved it. But because I received mercy, I released mercy.
Yeah. You want it. You want it.
I should have busted all their windows out. But because I received mercy, I released mercy.
Come on. Come on.
I love y'all. It means being gracious. It means being merciful. It means being a restorer.
Yes.
It means operating in a spirit of restoration.
Yes.
I might not have what I had from you before, but I'm going to have something from you from this point on.
Yes.
God didn't put you in my life for me to lose you from my life. Now, we don't have people like that. We don't value people anymore. Because y'all know we could watch people get killed on TV now. We'd be like, that's a shame, ain't it? Yo, I mean, it used to be, my grandmother would be with the newspaper back in the day, reading the obituary and tear, God have mercy, oh God. Oh, that person must be something. It'd be like, what is wrong with you? Baby, get them obituaries away from credit. She couldn't stand to know. That somebody else was in pain. And y'all know we don't care as long as it ain't us. You all right? Pray for you. Thank God it ain't me.
Come on. You're telling the truth.
We want that. I'm telling you, the reason why we have black men dying and white men and brown men dying out on the street, because we don't care nothing about nobody. Until it hit our own house. And then we want justice. I'm telling y'all, my family just got tested with that. My cousin Jeanette Sims. Y'all check it out. Because y'all know, y'all little Googlers. My cousin Jeanette got ran over by a family friend. And killed. Because the Lord tested me. I was like, he need to go to jail, electrocute him. Yeah, baby, kill him. He done killed my cousin Jeanette.
Tell the truth.
Baby, Jeanette was some chicken frying, fish frying. Oh, God, she was fun.
Tell the truth.
Yeah, my cousin.
Your cousin.
My cousin got 2 kids. 3 grandkids. One on the way she ain't gonna never meet. Kill him.
Tell the truth.
Wow, how much?
Tell the truth.
So then my family, because we call ourselves Christian,
Right.
we decided to pray during our pain.
Wow.
Y'all ain't gonna say nothing. And my auntie was like, we just gotta forgive him. We done known that boy all his life.
Wow.
And I know he wouldn't have did that to my baby. And I'm sitting up here looking at her like, girl, if you don't shut up, she out of her mind. Listen, I want Taquan, them to go find that boy. We ain't gotta have the police to do this. Y'all know we know how to handle it. Ain't nobody gotta be the one. Taquan and Shaquan. Y'all know that my people took on it.
Tell the truth.
God made them big for a purpose. Things happen all the time unexplained.
All right. Amen.
And she was like, we gotta forgive him. We gotta call his mama and let her know. I'm like, let's just don't be moving all quick. I want to be the voice of reason.
Right.
And the Lord was like, Rita, y'all can't do that. She's right. Y'all gotta forgive. Y'all gotta let that woman experience it. When I tell you they almost killed that lady. Who was a minister.
Come on.
At the same church my family go to.
Come on.
And when Aunt Barbara and them walked in the church and was holding her hand, everybody was like, this is about to go down real ugly. Because you know they know my family. We don't look that holy, but we saved. They walked in church and sat in church and went to the funeral together as a family. Y'all ain't gonna say nothing. Come on. Because God will make you sometimes operate graciously and mercifully. And it will cost you something. Y'all can see the reason why we don't want to forgive is because we don't want to pay another price.
That's right.
But the only reason why we were forgiven is because Jesus gave his life.
Hallelujah.
He hung on a cross. He was lied on. He was beaten in public. And he didn't even defend himself. Because forgiveness costs something. Woo! And y'all, we can't keep saying that we forgive without there being a price. Forgiveness. We're going through the little lines on there. I'm going to get my little time out. Forgiveness is a verbally declared. I mean, you got to say something. Because y'all know we want to look like we forgave and don't want to say we forgave. Y'all don't say nothing.
Come on.
A verbally declared, personally given promise. Are y'all with me? Y'all see it's under the pain relief? Y'all see where I am?
Yes.
All right. I just want to make sure. Because I be all over the place. What I say?
Personally given promise.
A statement of undeserved, unearned love that affirms that though I have been offended, there is no anger, no hatred, no desire for vengeance, no bitterness, no retaliation. I'm going to read that again. Forgiveness is a verbally declared, personally given promise, a statement of undeserved, unearned love that affirms that though I have been offended, there is no anger, no hatred, no desire for vengeance, no bitterness, no retaliation.
No retaliation.
Get out of here. I'm not going to get back at you. I don't harbor bitterness in my heart. I don't even have a desire to get you back. Y'all, we got to be delivered to get to that place. I'm trying to say because our flesh just say you got to get it back. Baby, they can't come say just anything to you. They don't think you a sucker.
Right.
That ain't what y'all say up here. What y'all say up here?
That's right.
They gonna think you soft. They gonna think they can run over me. And not so, beloved, because you run over me, I'm running over everybody. Y'all remember that little thing that we used to do, running over people? I don't care. Y'all didn't do that up here. I'm from down south.
Right.
But it says that true forgiveness is a verbally declared, personally given promise, a statement of undeserved, unearned love that affirms that though I have been offended, there is no anger, no hatred, no desire for vengeance, no bitterness, no retaliation. Why? Because there is no guilt and no blame held. I ain't holding you guilty.
Come on.
It's like you ain't never done nothing to me. Okay, so now I gotta give y'all, because y'all look like the kind of crew that ain't never been arrested. So y'all don't never know what's gonna come out of my mouth, right? So, Pastor, how are you? Y'all, let's give God a hand of praise for Pastor. Amen. So glad you're here. Amen. Okay, for those of y'all who've never been arrested and ain't never been in trouble with the law, there is, when you go to court, the ability to have a case adjudicated against you. When you have a case adjudicated against you and you find yourself guilty, and you might have to suffer the consequences like go to prison, okay? If you go to prison for heinous crimes like murder and selling weed, the governor or the president is able to give a pardon. Oh, y'all ain't never been arrested and y'all know that. Because y'all know we gotta be, down low lawyers, because anything can happen. But you'll get a pardon. Now what a pardon says is not that you're not guilty. Right. It's just I'm not gonna hold it against you. Y'all don't want no one to shout. See, the Lord, when he saved me, he didn't say, Rita, you didn't smoke weed. He didn't say, Rita, you didn't drink liquor. He didn't say, Rita, you wasn't sleeping with nobody. He said, you're guilty, but I ain't gonna hold it against you. And if he won't hold it against me, you ain't even did all I did. Okay, y'all said it. It said I'm not going to hold it against you. Let's get through this. And then I'm going to take my seat because God about to do something in here. Okay. The principle of forgiveness. There are 4 factors of forgiveness. The first factor of forgiveness is the grace factor, which shows God's grace. We should forgive because God has willingly forgiven us, Ephesians 4:32, and be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another just as God in Christ, somebody better say that, also forgave you. Because I'm a grace recipient, I'm a grace releaser. God has shown grace to us, therefore we must show grace to one another. To forgive is to be like Jesus, and on the contrary, to not forgive is to be like Satan. All right. Okay, that's crystal clear. All right. The guilt factor. The guilt factor. To be released from guilt. We bear the guilt when we don't forgive. Our unforgiveness towards others shuts out God's forgiveness, and unforgiving spirit is unforgivable in the sight of God. God holds us accountable for our actions regardless of what others have done to hurt us. Romans 12:19. Y'all read it with me.